Through the Michigan Work Zone Safety Task Force, MDOT and the heavy construction industry are advancing the culture and practice of putting safety first in work zones across the state. The task force launched in 2018 and this year is sponsoring the first ever Positive Project Safety Collaboration Award. This award recognizes truly remarkable partnership between all parties working on a Michigan highway project to achieve a positive safety culture. Any MDOT-led project during the 2021 construction season was eligible. The task force considered 11 nominees this year. Here are the nominees. M139 in Berrien County, contractor, Kalen Construction. Crooks Road in Oakland County, contractor, Blaze Contracting. I-96 full-depth concrete pavement repairs in Kent and Ionia counties, contractor, C&D Hughes. US 2 in Dickinson County, contractor, Baco Construction Company. I-196 in Kent County, contractor, Kaminga and Rotovotes. US 41 in M28 in Marquette County, contractor, Payne and Dolan. I-675 bridge rehabilitation and concrete pavement patches in Saginaw County, contractor, CA Hull. I-69 in Genesee County, contractor, Dan's Excavating. I-275 rebuilding in Wayne and Monroe counties, contractor, Dan's Excavating. Design Build Mound Road Industrial Corridor Technology and Innovation Project, contractor, Dan's Excavating. I-94 US 31 Design Build, contractor, DJ McQuestion and Sons. Hardman Construction, J&N Construction.
The project we're talking about is a concrete joint project that took place on I-96 between the Kent-Ionia County line and Bliss Road. The challenges on this project are challenges that we always see on the I-96 corridor. It's a heavy commuter route. The ADT is over 40,000 vehicles per day. So we have a lot of cars going through during the daytime. So typically we like to do nighttime work on this corridor to minimize delays and impacts to the motorists. After the letting of this project, before we had the pre-construction meeting, C&D Hughes approached us about potentially moving the work from nighttime work to daytime work. Moving that work to daytime work would strongly increase the safety for not only the workers, but also the motoring public.
C&D Hughes has been in this section of road 2 or 3 times in the last 10, 12 years. So we've understood where traffic flows well with airborne locations because there's some horizontal and some vertical curve and sight distance issues within this section of roadway. Every morning we have toolbox talks with our employees, and we have roughly, on this project, we had about 40 guys every day out there. So it's quite a few employees working out on site. I'd say probably half of them are on the ground as laborers and the other half are in equipment operating. And we constantly talk to our laborers about being safe and keeping your head on a swivel and try to always keep the equipment between them and the oncoming traffic.
Given the history that we've had on this corridor on 96, we have had fatalities in the past several years on this project. In working with C&D Hughes and our other contractors, we're really trying to focus on those areas that we can improve upon. Typically those crashes happen during nighttime operations where you have an increase in drunk drivers, drowsy drivers, and fatigued drivers. So changing our work to day work significantly reduces all those risks for the motoring public and for the workers in the workplace. One of the innovations on this project was that we had the Stop Traffic Advisory System set up on the project. The Stop Traffic Advisory System includes several PCMS boards, which are the interchangeable message boards that we put out to notify the public of upcoming closures in work zones. Work zone enforcement has been increasing over the last few years, specifically here in the Grand Region. We've been collaborating with the contractors, and having a police presence on site significantly increases the safety on the projects.
We talking to our guys, we're always talking about respecting other work zones, so we're constantly talking about, following the traffic restrictions within construction work zones because, we want people to follow that through ours. It means a lot for the hard work that we put in with MDOT, and there was a lot of coordination on this project as far as where closures were going to be, and MDOT was responsive to everything, and they had input, we had input, and it was all for the safety of the motoring public and for our employees out on the road.
We're talking about I-675 in Saginaw County, Saginaw, Michigan. It was about 10 miles of road patches and 36 structures between bridges and culverts. Road and bridge rehab. There's also epoxy overlay on all the bridge decks and some high friction surface treatment on the S-curve along the I-675 freeway. Some of the challenges on this job were the majority of all the work that had to be done was near or beyond the center line of the roadway, and the original MOT setup on this project was to complete the work part with alternating single lane closures. So you're always going to have workers and equipment right next to traffic, right next to barrels and drums. Guys are always standing there watching their backs, watching their co-workers' backs, looking behind them. You can tell when a car is going over 45 miles an hour when they shouldn't be.
We're planning to do this how we traditionally do it. You know, we always, when we do detail 7s and 8s on the highways, we always do part with construction. At the onset of this project, CA Hill came to us and requested a detour one bound at a time, make it safer for everybody out there. So we initially were absolutely not, we're not going to do that. But through further discussion with CA Hull and with our operations staff and our construction staff and our region staff, we come to the conclusion that this might be a possibility. We could break this into 6 sections, which would allow us to keep traffic on the state highways for the most part for the detours and create a safer work environment.
Yeah, there's a lot of lessons learned here. I think pre-planning with the traffic control and how you're going to schedule and actually build the project, think outside the box on what can we do to make this job site safer. Obviously not every job you're going to be able to do total freeway closures. This was a unique situation.
One of the things that I've been pushing after this is that we need to think outside the box more, push the boundaries a little bit, you know, not get stuck in a rut. I personally, at the beginning of this, at our pre-construction meeting, it was proposed a detour, and I was like, there's no way we're ever going to do this. You know, this is how we always do it, and we get kind of stuck in that rut, and we got to make sure that we're looking at the new tools, new ways that we can do stuff and, you know, promote a safer workway.
I took away a lot of successes from this job with safety being number one. I know our subcontractors and our own field employees felt a lot safer on the job knowing they were working in a total freeway closure, barricaded off with drums, barricades, crash attenuator trucks. So safety was huge. I think we sacrificed 2 to 3 weeks at the front end of the job just to hammer out these details on the MOT. So we started work on I-675 2 to 3 weeks late, knowing that we could still get it done in time, but that's how important getting these traffic control concerns addressed were for us.
So I-275 is the largest design bid build project that MDOT has ever led. It consists of 24 miles of roadway rehabilitation and reconstruction. The southern portion, 9 miles, is concrete patching, and then the northern 13.5 miles consists of reconstruction. In addition to the road work, we also have 65 bridges that we're working on. These bridges range from new decks all the way down to patching and epoxy overlays. We have Metro Airport as a major stakeholder on the southern end of the job, and also this stretch of freeway, it really varies as far as average daily traffic. In some areas it's 47,000 vehicles per day, other areas 200,000 vehicles per day. So you see a big mixture of different traffic patterns on this job. There's been numerous factions and alternatives that we've considered and implemented on this job. For example, we totally reimagined the way that the delivery of the construction job was taking place. They wanted split merge configuration. We're going full bound construction. So instead of having traffic right next to you, separated by a barrier wall, we are physically moving them over 70 feet. So it's going to be much safer for the motoring public and for the workers.
Additionally, one of the most important things that we've used out here and we have not used in the past is the presence of the Michigan State Police. I think that's a great benefit to the project. I think it was a great idea that MDOT came up with, and we have been very, very appreciative of that.
We have 3 different types of speed trailers out here. We have our typical speed trailers, we have our digital speed limit trailers, our DSLs, and also our Speed Wizard trailers. So the digital speed limit trailers consist of flashing lights anytime that they're activated. So if a worker is working, we'll place the digital speed limit trailer near him and we'll activate the lights. So instead of a radar trailer saying 60 miles an hour, it'll go down to 45 miles an hour. So we're able to dynamically change it, and it can be changed anywhere. So I think having safety at the forefront of every meeting is very important. Also, your work zone collaboration special provision. This is a special provision that makes the team get together before the job starts and collaborate and list out priorities and list out potential concerns. That way you can minimize those before the job even starts. So I would say having work zone collaboration is vital to any major job in the future. So it's very surprising and very blessed to win this award. I feel very honored to win this award. This is the first safety award that MDOT's put out. So it's great to have our job one of the 3 winners. So very blessed, and it's been great so far.
We are very excited to win this as a large project. We have another 2 to 3 years of heavy construction out here, and we look forward to keeping this job safe for the duration of the project.